As the nationwide protest continues to intensify, the Sri Lanka Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has resigned, a move that is likely to pave way for a new cabinet in the crisis-marred country. This comes days after the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, in a special meeting on Friday, requested the Prime Minister to step down as a solution to the ongoing political crisis in the island nation. Remember, the nationwide protest continues to intensify amid the worsening economic situation. But big breaking news coming in at this point. The reports suggest that the ruling party MP has been killed in the Sri Lankan clashes. That's what the police seem to have indicated. A legislator from Sri Lanka's ruling party died following a clash with anti-government protesters outside the capital, the police have said, as dozens were wounded in violence elsewhere. The MP, we are being told, is Mr. Amarakirti Athukorala, opened fire and critically wounded two people blocking his car in Nitambuva, and was later found dead after trying to take refuge in a nearby building, officers have said. Remember, there has been a political crisis in the island nation of Sri Lanka for the last 2 months, a little over 2 months. 3 people injured in these clashes, and now reports suggest that the ruling party MP has been killed in the Sri Lankan clashes. This is the top story. In fact, information coming at this point on the Sri Lankan crisis, which only seems to escalate. I'm joined by my colleague Shrija at this point for more on this. Shrija, what more details can you share with us? Now we are reporting, we're hearing news of the ruling party MP dead in this Sri Lankan clashes. The cops have said this, and also several people continue to get injured in these clashes.
Well, it's a very tense situation as far as Sri Lanka is concerned. Though the protests had erupted just this morning, especially with, the anti-government protesters demonstrating peacefully at Golface. This is at Gota Gogama and also Maina Gogama. We understand just hours later, allegedly, some of the pro-government protesters, which is in support of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and also Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, they had boarded buses to various locations and then started attacking these peaceful protesters. Once the situation went out of control, we understand the police, who were stationed and deployed at various vantage points, they were forced to, use tear gas shells and as well as water cannons to disperse the crowd. But clearly, it did not end right there. We also saw how the entire protest escalate at various, nook and corner of Sri Lanka. Several, clashes were reported. Several people were injured in this entire incident. Now the information that we're also getting from the locals right in Sri Lanka is that over 100 people have been reportedly injured in this particular clash between the rival, the pro-government groups and as well as the anti-government groups. So many of the people have also been undergoing treatment at nearby hospitals. But at the same time, right now we understand that even, the leader of the opposition, Mr. Sajith Premadasa, was also, allegedly attacked by the, the pro-government protesters. But however, we understand he was brought to safety by his team members. But the big breaking that, of course, we are getting is that a ruling MP, as confirmed by the Sri Lankan police, the reports confirm, saying that he has been killed in the shooting incident. But it is not just him, but we also understand that situation has escalated. There are certain reports that are also surfacing at the moment that, at least about 2 or 3 people have been injured in the shooting incident. They've also been rushed to nearby hospitals. But however, we do not have a final word yet. Now, that word is still awaited from the Sri Lankan police. But right now, as we speak, the situation is completely gone out of control. All the tri-forces that we're talking about, the police, including the police, they have all been deployed at various vantage points across the island nation. And now this entire issue of what we're talking about, we did of course see just the amid the ongoing deepening economic crisis and also the demand for the change in the Rajapaksa's government or the ruling. We see that Mahinda Rajapaksa was clearly forced to step down. He has sent his resignation letter to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa as well, and clearly he has confirmed that news as well by taking to Twitter to his people as well. Yes.
Right. Shrija, in fact, I just want to come in and ask you a quick question. We know that the situation continues to remain tense in the island nation of Sri Lanka, but also let's not forget that the crisis continues for the common man with a shortage of fuel, of food, of medicines, of drugs, of the most basic supplies. What more can you share with us on that at the moment?
Well, what's more important here? Yes, of course, NDTV has been reporting from the start of this entire crisis. We have been seeing, from ground how especially people, the tax-paying citizens over there, forming long serpentine queues, whether it is for food, the essentials that we're talking about, or even for that matter, cooking gas, and as well as especially fuel as well. So even as we speak, things have really not settled as far as Sri Lanka goes. The protesters that we're talking about, this entire uprising in Sri Lanka that's been happening. On one hand, people are struggling, they are back home. On the other hand, we are also looking at various images and visuals of people waiting in long serpentine queues. There is no cooking gas available. Food essentials are running out. People have cut down, especially the below poverty line people that we're talking about. They have cut down on the meals from 3 to 1 meal a day. So that is the situation of the deepening economic crisis that we are talking about. Of course, the foreign deficit also, the foreign reserves have hit a rock bottom. And amid all these ongoing crises, we clearly did, of course, see the Rajapaksas or the government for that matter could not and still cannot do much about, in fact, lifting Sri Lanka, out of this economic crisis.
Absolutely. A deepening economic crisis. It only escalates. Several injured. The ruling MP has been killed in these clashes, and the crisis only escalates with shortage of the most basic supplies for the common man in the island nation. Thanks very much, Shrija, for joining us.